Ali Drew for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Ade Oladipo, who is here amidst the announcement that the show on Saturday night is cancelled. When did you find out, and what do you make of it all?
Like everyone else, just a couple of days ago. You first hear in the news, and I think my initial response is surprise. Like what? No way. I think I saw Dave Coldwell tweet, like, no way. And I was like, what's he talking about? What's going on? And then the news starts to filter through, and then just disappointment. Not just disappointment for Chris Eubank Jr, who I think has sold it so well, right? All that 60% stuff, having to make 157. But disappointment for a lot of the undercard fighters that are still floating around here that don't get paid. I mean, a lot of these guys, I think a lot of boxing fans look at the big guys that are making big money. A lot of these guys are living paycheck to paycheck. If they don't fight, they don't get paid. And I feel sorry for them more than anyone else. Obviously, people spend a lot of money on hotels and travel, so everyone gets hit with this. Do you know what I mean? It hurts everyone. So yeah, overly, so upset, so disappointed, and probably a bit angry as well.
I mean, the announcement that's just been made is obviously the whole show is off, hence why the undercard fighters are affected. In terms of the announcement yesterday that the drugs test had been failed, and then the show was still going to go ahead, the fight was still going to go ahead. What was your thoughts on that, the fact that until this morning the fight was going to go ahead? Difficult
situation, especially for me as a boxing fan. Obviously, look, I'm kind of sort of towing the line both sides, where I've got my sort of hardcore YouTube fan hat on and also work for the broadcast of the event as well. And I was like, well, I kind of feel like I was being put in a difficult situation, because ultimately, if someone has failed a drugs test, you don't really want to be part of that event. Because I know what I'm like when I see the Americans, and when they fail drug tests, I'm all over it. I'm like, disgraceful. You know, when Oscar Valdez and his fight recently against Robson Conceição, I jumped on it like, what? No chance. So I can't then, because it's over here and it's a broadcaster I work for and it's a friend of mine in Conor Benn, not sort of be upset as well. So I feel like it was a difficult situation for me to sort of navigate, but ultimately I think the right decision's been made, and I'm so happy it has been made, because it would have been awkward for me working on the event. Honestly, it would have been awkward working on a big event, but knowing that this event's got a massive asterisk next to it. So I'm just happy, relieved, just for me, if I'm honest with you, that it isn't going to go ahead. And I know that upsets a lot of people, but the right decision's been made.
In terms of this fight going forward, obviously we're going to have to get some sort of clarification from the Conor Benn situation, the B sample maybe, whatever needs to go on there. Do you think we're going to get that soon, and do you think that this fight is salvageable?
I think it's salvageable because, as we know in boxing, money talks, and this fight would have generated a hell of a lot of money, right? It's Matchroom and DAZN's first pay-per-view over here in the UK, and they were going big on it. I mean, I did the face-off that got over 1 million views, you know what I mean?
That was very good, by the way.
Pretty good face-off, right? They were on GMB, they're supposed to be a show on BBC, they've been on TalkSport, they've been on BBC Radio 5 Live, so everyone has pushed for this fight to happen. So because of that, I feel like you can revisit it again, but before you revisit it, we have to find out, A, how this sample or this drug got into Conor Benn's body. Everything needs to be looked at. It can't just be a case of, okay, it makes so much money. No. This is boxers' health that's on the line. Let's find out what's going on. Let's hear from Conor Benn. Let's get a statement from his team. I think once we get that, then we can move forward. Before that, I think we should just do what Matchroom have done, and that's just press pause.
In terms of people behind the scenes knowing about this failed drugs test, allegedly weeks ago, what do you make of the fact that that didn't come out until, I mean, the British Boxing Board didn't say that the fight couldn't go ahead until it got sort of leaked to the press? What do you make of that? Surprised.
Again, when I heard that this drug had been found, I assumed, I think like most of us here, that this was about a week ago. Not knowing this was a failed drugs test a month ago. And then it makes you kind of wonder all the stuff that Chris Eubank Sr was saying when he was like, boycott the event. And I'm like, why boycott the event? Surely I know the weight cut's hard, but it can't be for that. It now all makes sense of it, right? We're getting a bit more pieces to the puzzle. So look, it is a surprise. I don't want to use the excuse this happens in boxing, but kind of does. But yeah, it shouldn't, but it does. So look, we just have to move forward with it and hope some good, I don't know what good, but some good can come out of this. Whether or not it's British Boxing Board of Control releasing statements a lot sooner, teams saying what's happened. Because again, if you're one of those people that have spent thousands, I know people that have travelled from the States for this. You know what I mean? That's thousands of pounds. They don't get that money back. Thousands, lost, thrown away. So people need to be told way in advance. You can't let people, like we're cancelling this event on a Thursday, on 2 days before when there was a failed drugs test a month ago. it's just not good enough, and I think boxing needs to learn from it. If we are to grow as a sport, the number one sport over here is football. If we are trying to compete with that, we need to be as squeaky clean as possible, especially when whole the media are looking at us, and we have just, pardon my French, we've effed up badly. So yeah, everyone needs to improve going forward.
In terms of how Eddie is now going to handle it, I presume there's going to be a statement, there's going to be a sort of discussion from them, because we haven't actually heard since we got told it was going ahead. So in terms of the right thing to do now, is that for them to say it's off and we're going to look into what's happened?
Yeah, look, I will say it's simple. It's not, but it's simple in the sense that it's off. It was the right decision to call it off, and going forward, this is what we do. I mean, Eddie's a great talker, he's a great speaker. He's going to need to be that. Everyone's making their way upstairs now. He's going to need to be that, because this isn't going to be, it's not going to be easy. He's going to be bombarded with questions, and he's going to have to be ready. He's going to have to be ready, but if anyone can, Eddie can, right? So he's going to have to be ready for it.
Well, I'll let you get off because I know you've got to do a bit as well.
Yes.
But thank you for your time.
Ali, thank you very much.
And see you again soon.
Well done with this as well, by the way.
Thank
When are
you.
you going to come back to DAZN though? I'm no disrespect to boxing, so when are you coming back to join us?
I need to be everywhere.
Yeah, you certainly do.
Thanks, Ade. Thank you.